Greetings everybody, welcome to Kingdom Talk and Stuff. My name is Ompilo Promise Oamidube, and I really prefer the Oami name because you know what, I am yours to have. And I know guys, it has been quite some time since I shared the word of the Lord with you. I will not get into much detail about that, but I hope as time goes by I'm able to gain the confidence to be able to talk about it. But for sure I will talk about the things that God has been telling me when I was during my moment of silence in a way. So yeah, without wasting any of your time, let's get into the word. So today I'm going to be discussing about the two concepts that I learned on my first day as a psychology student. You know, what was mind-blowing about this whole thing, how God took my education and expanded it in his word, how he took one thing that I learned and measured it into his word, and matched it with his word and gave it so much substance and so much depth. And those two concepts are proximity and intimacy. So without wasting any of your time, let's just dig into the word. So the word today is in John 15 verse 4, and it reads as follows: I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Jesus, apart from me, you can do nothing. So I remember on my last episode, there was a point where I touched about the children of Israel, and that is my starting point, because during their years of the wilderness, they missed a chance to obtain the wisdom that God intended to teach them, the wisdom that was meant to be passed from one generation to the next, so that they are able to maintain God's promises. And this is the reason that, because it exposed how they walked with God but yet far away from him. So it says that they were walking in proximity with God. Proximity speaks that we are two individuals, we are two bodies, we are next to each other, but we do not know each other. We do not know each other's nature. We do not know each other's purposes, desires. We do not know each other's will. That is proximity. Proximity says that you are next to me and I don't have to be alone. But then intimacy speaks of something that is deep. It speaks that we are heading in the same direction. It speaks and exposes one's of nature to the next person, because we see that in Matthew's, if I'm not mistaken, that there was a time when Jesus asked his disciples that, who am I? And then Peter replied that you are truly the Son of God. You are the Messiah. And Jesus replied and he said, Peter, let me tell you about who you are, who you really are. You are indeed the rock. So that is to show that the two were walking in deep intimacy with each other. That the very nature of who Christ was exposed to Peter, and who Peter was exposed to Christ. And also intimacy, in intimacy, this pursuit to greatness, my Jesus. And that is to say that the children of Israel had no intimate relationship with God. They were keen only in following Moses, because had they walked in deep intimacy with God, they were not going to worship idols when they got into the land that God had promised them. But because they forgot about the essence of God, that is why God had to remind them in most cases that I did this, I did that, I did that. That is why when they were in the years of the wilderness, they did things. They asked Moses whenever they were sick, they complained, they did this, because they did not really understand the very nature of God. They did not know that God is the healer and the one who provides, and they could not even extend their gratitude to the one they were following, because they were just only keen on following but not understanding the very nature of God. And I would really like to match what I just said in Genesis about the man and his wife, Adam and Eve. You know, Eve was created when Adam was asleep. She was created in the deep. And when Adam woke up and saw Eve, he said that you are the bones of my bones and the flesh of my flesh. But he did not really understand the very nature of a woman. Because if he was walking in deep intimacy with Eve, he was gonna know that a woman embodies the power of influence. But he did not know that. And also to say that they were walking in proximity was that Adam also could not even transfer, the instruction that God has told them to pass to Eve. He could not even extend that, because they were only walking next to each other. They were next to each other, but they did not know each other's hearts. And that is very dangerous. And I really like this verse in Proverbs 20 verse 5 that says that the purpose of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight dots them out. And I said that Eve was created in the deep, when Eve was asleep. So as the purpose of a person, for you to really understand your mandate on this earth, for you to even know about the very foundation and the essence of Jesus Christ, the foundation of the gospels, for you to walk in deep intimacy with God. And what makes me say that is that just not so long ago, there was something that was worrying me about me, but God took me back to the foundations of Jesus Christ. And that is something that I will share as time goes by. But my encouragement is that for you to be able to walk in deep intimacy